It was about noon, and darkness fell on the whole land until 3 in the afternoon because of an eclipse of the sun. Then the curtain in the sanctuary was torn in two, and Jesus uttered a loud cry and said, Abba, into your hands I commit my spirit. Saying this, Jesus breathed for the last time. And then, on the first day of the week, at the first sign of dawn, the women of Jesus went to the tomb, and surprise! Jesus was no longer dead but alive. Dazzling, I'm talking extremely bright light, stunned the women who were met by 2 figures who reminded them that Jesus had told them that he would be crucified and raised back to life on the 3rd day. Can you imagine going to the tomb that held your friend, mentor, teacher, Messiah, approaching it with deep sadness and pain and darkness within, only to be temporarily blinded by the light of life? And did you notice in the gospel lesson what the women did first after hearing that Jesus had been resurrected? They went back to Jerusalem and told others. What was dead is alive forevermore. What was darkness is now dazzling light. Some people think, mistakenly, that the resurrection completed by Jesus Christ is all about personal salvation, about personally embracing new life in Jesus Christ, and personally being filled with God's eternal light. But it isn't. If we only accept that life and light for ourselves and do nothing with it, we are not followers of Christ. We are not Christians. Because like the women at the tomb, it is only when we share our salvation and the light of the world with others do we become the fulfillment of the Easter joy. Now, we may feel good about our personal relationship with the Lord, but when it stops there, we have not fulfilled our salvation. Jesus said, you don't light a lamp and hide it under a bushel basket, do you? No. You set it out on a stand where it gives light to all. The completion of receiving the light is sharing the light. There's a story about a young man in a town not far away who opened a small dime store. He was friendly and he was likable. He got to know his customers and always greeted new people. He was ethical in his business and personal life. He believed that God had put him in this place and in this time for a reason. And he shared the light of God with others. Well, his store began to grow. In fact, it grew so much, he opened up another store in a nearby town. And then another. And another. Until he had a chain of stores across the country. He visited all his stores regularly to make sure his values were reflected by his employees, and that when folks shopped, everyone was made to feel welcome and cared for. Many years passed, and he became ill and hospitalized. And realizing that he may die, he gathered his 3 adult children by his side, and he said to them, "My time on earth is ending, and one of you will become president of this company and follow in my footsteps. I need to decide who succeeds me. So I'm giving you each $100, and I want you to take that $100 and go buy whatever you can with it. But when you come back this evening, whatever you buy must fill this room corner to corner." The children, all hoping to become the head of this wonderful company, left his side with excitement to begin their quest. And when evening came, his children entered their father's hospital room. The father asked the first child, "What have you done with your $100? "Well, Dad, I went to a friend's farm and bought bales of hay." With that, the first child brought the hay into the room and cut the twine and began throwing the hay up in the air. And for a moment, the hay filled the room. But soon it settled down and lay on the floor, and it no longer filled the room corner to corner as his father instructed. The father turned to the second child and said, "What have you done with your $100? This child spoke up, "Dad, I went out and I bought feather pillows." With that, the second child brought the feather pillows into the room and slid them open and began throwing the feathers all over the room. And for several moments, the room was filled. But eventually, the feathers all settled down on the floor, and they did not fill the room corner to corner as the father instructed. The father looked at the third child and said, "And you, what did you do with the money I gave you?" "Well, Dad," she said, "I went to a store just like the first one that you started, and I asked the owner for change. A $50 bill, 2 20s, and a 10. I gave $50 to a worthwhile cause. I gave it to the local reading program at the library. I then gave $20 to a charitable organization, and I gave $20 to the church. With the remaining $10, I purchased from that store a box of matches and a candle." Then she walked over to the light switch and turned out the lights in the room, took the match and the candle and lit the candle. And the room was filled. From corner to corner, the room was filled not with hay, not with feathers, but with light. Her father smiled and said, "Well done, my child, you did as I asked, and more. You have inherited the company because you understand how to share your light and fill the darkness of this room from corner to corner and beyond." And the siblings embraced each other, and they kissed their father with love. Paul also reminds us in the letter to Ephesians that at one time we all walked in darkness, but because of Jesus Christ, We have emerged from that darkness, and we should act like it. Walk as children of the light, he says. And then he quotes an early Christian liturgy by writing, "Awake, O sleeper, arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light." I've always found it interesting that non-Christians celebrate Easter much like they do Christmas. They dye Easter eggs, have big dinners, give Easter baskets to their children, but have not accepted the light that has come into the world, the resurrected Lord. It's only Christians who share that light with others by illuminating the dark corners of life, by sharing the story of Jesus and the difference that that makes in our lives. By truly welcoming people into the full gospel of our faith, and by walking as children of the light. May God bless you on this day of resurrection. But more importantly, may God bless you as you share the light of Christ with your family, with your friends, with your acquaintances, and with strangers that God brings into your life who need to see how you walk in the light and need to hear from you what the light means for the living of these days.